So about me, my name is Brandon Leibowitz. I'll be going over today's class. I've been involved with digital marketing since about 2007. Got my degree in business marketing and tried to go into traditional marketing back in 2007, 2008, the recession hit. So it's kind of tough to find a job. And there's one company in my house said, we'll teach you, we want to hire you to do digital marketing. And I didn't really have much experience. They said, don't worry, we don't know much about it either. We're going to take you to classes and workshops and seminars kind of like this and learn my own, and just grew from there and kept working at that company and was helping them out with all their digital marketing, helping out with social media, doing paid ads, doing SEO, doing email marketing. I was doing a lot of different things for this company, but I realized that, it all works. All that stuff is going to get you traffic, but I realized that SEO, search engine optimization, is a way to get free traffic to your website, and it would be better long-term to get that free traffic instead of having to pay Google per click, or if you're doing social media, you never know what's going to happen to Facebook in 5 years or new platforms emerge. So SEO is more long-term. That's why I've really stuck with it, but it all works in terms of getting traffic. Email marketing, social media, you gotta do it all to get traffic, but I just really prefer the SEO or the organic, the free traffic. So that's really what I focused on. And I've been working since then at different advertising agencies in Los Angeles, working for small, medium-sized businesses and kind of everything in between, working on tons of different industries and different niches. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. Try to help out as much as possible. I've since then left those agencies and started my own company. It's called SEO Optimizers. So I do SEO full-time. That is what I do, is helping other websites get more traffic. I do these classes occasionally, but really my main focus is on doing the work and doing SEO to make sure that you get the traffic that your website deserves. So if you do need help with SEO, you always let me know. And I see in the chat some people are having audio issues. I'm not sure if anyone could hear me. If you want to let me know if you could hear me in the chat or if there's any issues, but hopefully everyone can hear me. All right, looks like Dahlia might be having some issues. I'm not sure, but everyone else can hear me. Okay, good. So sorry about that, Dahlia. They might have to go into the settings, or I'll be recording this class so everyone can get a copy of that. So if you're having an issue with it, this is a live webinar. But today I am going to go over how to optimize your website, the on-page SEO. So there's two different parts of SEO. There's on-page SEO and off-page SEO. On-page SEO is anything that's done to your website. So going into WordPress or whatever platform you're on and making changes in the back end, the coding, which is what I want to talk about today. Off-page SEO is anything that doesn't touch your website, like if you did social media, or if you're doing email marketing, or if you're building backlinks. All that is off-page SEO. Like if you had an article published on the NewYorkTimes.com, that's not affecting how your website, the look and feel of it. So that would be off-page SEO. On-page SEO is done to your website. You do the on-page SEO one time and you're pretty much done with it. It's the off-page SEO that never really ends, but that's for another class. Today, I just want to talk about on-page SEO and what that is and why it's beneficial and why it's important. Because, so yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but what matters is that search engines, specifically Google, they go in and read the coding on your website to try to figure out what your website's about. So putting keywords in different areas helps Google better understand what your website's about, and that's going to help them rank you higher for more keywords. So it's really important to go into your website and optimize it and make changes to the coding. And don't worry, you don't need to know coding nowadays with like all these different platforms like Shopify and Squarespace and Wix and WordPress. You don't need to know coding, but all these changes are really going in the back end and making changes into the coding. But with all these platforms, you don't need to know coding. If you want to know basic HTML, that's all you really need to know for SEO, but even that nowadays is not necessary. And what this is doing is you're going into the back end of your website and putting keywords in the coding, and that's going to help the search engines better understand what your website's about. And it just shows relevance to the search engines that your website's relevant about these keywords, and that's going to get you more traffic from Google. So, and I'll explain what it all is. There's a lot that goes into on-page SEO. As you can see, there's a lot of different topics I can cover and want to cover, but unfortunately there's not much time today. So I want to try to cover the more important things. There are a lot of different things. With SEO, I try to say, think of it like a puzzle. You want to put all the pieces together, like all these little bullet points are different pieces, but some pieces are bigger than others, and some have a lot bigger impact on your rankings than others. So I want to try to cover as much as I can, but there's only so much time in this class today with 40 minutes. But on-page SEO, so I do these classes every once in a while, and I do full day classes that are 5 hours. This is taken from that 5-hour class. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Not gonna be able to get through all of it, but I'll try to cover some of the more important things like content creation. You wanna make sure that you have good content on your website. You wanna optimize your title tags, which are the blue clickable link that shows up in Google. You wanna optimize what's called the meta descriptions. That's the black text that shows up underneath Google or underneath the blue text in Google. You want to optimize your images. Images sometimes show up in Google search results. So if you optimize all your images, best practice, that just increases your chances of someone finding you. If your website's listed there and you have an image, that doubles your chances of someone clicking onto your website or clicking onto one of your pieces of content. Then there's header tags and all these really technical pieces, the site structure, site maps, your speed, mobile friendliness, how optimized or how easy it is to navigate your website on mobile devices, having a blog. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to be able to cover everything today, but I do these classes, and every once in a while, I have been doing these 40-minute kind of webinars every single week, every Wednesday. I've been trying to give back during the quarantine and trying to help out, and been doing these more frequently. So I did cover on-page SEO like a month ago. So I covered a few of these topics. I don't want to repeat it for anyone that's come to these classes or has heard it in the past, because I am going to be recording these and sending them out to everyone. So if you didn't get the beginning parts, there's other classes, there's videos, and I've actually put them on a podcast. So if you search on iTunes for Brandon Leibowitz or my company name, SEO Optimizers, you'll be able to find these past episodes. Same with YouTube. If you search on there, you'll find all that stuff. So I don't want to repeat it for anyone that's heard it already. I want to try to keep it new and have people getting new content every single week. So I want to cover today some more technical things, but they have a big impact on SEO, which specifically I want to go over sitemaps and your website speed, mobile friendliness, blogging, some of these things, see how much of it I can get through. But I really want to cover sitemap, which it's not the most interesting or sounds like the most appealing, but it is very, very important for SEO. And I want to show why it's so important, because a lot of people kind of overlook this. And this can make or break your website. Not necessarily make or break your website, but in terms of how much traffic you get, this can really give you a boost of traffic in a short period of time with minimal work. So a sitemap is pretty much a roadmap for the search engines to be able to find the pages on your website. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, all these different search engines out there, they go around crawling the internet trying to find all the pages on the internet, but they don't find every single website. And even if they did find your website and you are ranking for your website, when you search in Google, you see your website's in there, they're not going to find every single page on your website. So this is kind of like a roadmap showing the search engines, here's all the pages on my website, and that's going to hopefully have them index your pages or have them find your pages and then show them in the search engines. Because right now, let's say you have 500 pages on your website. Google's not going to find all 500 pages on your website. They might find 50 pages or 100 pages, but you probably worked hard on all those pages on your website, and you want Google to show all those pages in the search results. Having a sitemap is a way to ensure that Google will find all your pages and show them in the search results. I've worked at website or companies in the past where one client or one company I worked for, they had, I think it was like 10,000 products on their website. And they were just wondering why they weren't getting a lot of traffic to certain products and other products were getting a lot of traffic. And we realized that Google only found half the pages on their website. Google didn't know about the other 5,000 pages or products that they had. They only found 5,000 of their products. They didn't find the other 5,000 because they had 10,000 total products. We created a sitemap, submitted it to Google, and pretty much overnight, Google found all the pages on their website and their traffic doubled. Really fast, quick, easy win. So I'll show you how you can do that. And this is really important. Every website needs to have a sitemap. If you don't have a sitemap, this is a missed opportunity to get more traffic to your website. So if you want to check to make sure you have a sitemap, I'll show you. So if anyone wants to throw in the chat, let me know your website URL and I'll show and check to see if you do have a sitemap. So if you want to throw it in there, if you have a website URL, and I'll show you right now, and everyone can do this, it doesn't matter. I see Alex through 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐂𝐓 Global, or Hi Group Homes from Alex. So it's okay if you try or you didn't get in. Everyone can do this themselves. Sorry. Let me pull it up. All right, so if you go to a website, so if you go to any website, and then at the end of the URL, you put /sitemap.xml. That will show you where your sitemap is. So we can see highgrouphomes.com /sitemap.xml. So everyone should try this on their own website. If you don't have a sitemap, then we have an issue. If you do have a sitemap, that's great. That's half the work's already done for you. Most platforms will create a sitemap for you, like Word or Shopify. Should create a sitemap for you. If you're using WordPress, you might need a plugin like Yoast SEO, YOAST SEO is a plugin. There's a lot of plugins that you could use to add a sitemap, but if you don't have a sitemap, you might want to figure out or let me know in the chat what platform you're using, because if you're using like Shopify, Squarespace, Wix, they all should have a sitemap. If you have a custom coded website, then you might not have a sitemap. If you don't have a sitemap, you could use, there's a lot of free tools out there or websites. I think it's called, let's see, free, if you just search in Google, free XML sitemap generator. There's a lot of tools out there that are free. This one, like xml-sitemaps.com, free tool. You go in there, put your website URL, it'll create a sitemap for you. You upload that sitemap to your website, and then you'll have that sitemap. If you do need help, a web developer could help you out, but most platforms should have a sitemap. So if you have your sitemap, you can see here's a sitemap for highgroupshomes.com. Here's all the URLs on your website. And this is so you can see all the pages are in here. And this is kind of like a roadmap for Google saying, here's all the pages on our website. Please show them in the search results. So create that sitemap. Anyone could check. If you go to yourwebsite.com/sitemap, you'll see if you have a sitemap. If you don't, you could use one of these free tools like xmlsitemaps.com. And then what you need to do is you need to submit that sitemap to Google. So creating that page, and Google's not going to find all the pages on your website. So having that sitemap on your website is good, but Google is probably not going to find that page because Google doesn't find a lot of your pages on your website. So what you have to do is submit that sitemap to Google. And you do that by going to Google Search Console. It's a free tool from Google. And this is a great tool. I would highly recommend everyone utilize this. It's going to show you everything you want to know about where your traffic is coming from, what keywords they're using to find you. This is where you submit your sitemap. It shows if you've been having any issues with your website, mobile use issues, speed issues. There's a lot of stuff in this tool, and it's free. So I would highly, highly recommend everyone do this. I think I might be doing a class on Google Search Console next week on Wednesday about analytics and Search Console. So I'm not going to dive into it too much today, but I just want to show you one or two quick things, or I just want to show you quickly how you do submit that sitemap to Google Search Console, because you need to create that sitemap and then you need to submit it to Google Search Console. So if you just search Google Search Console, you'll see here is that URL. It's search.google.com. If you don't have an account, you're gonna have to create an account. I already have an account, so I can just sign in. But if you don't have an account, you're gonna have to start now, create an account. They're gonna give you a little tracking code. You have to put that tracking code on your website to prove to Google that this is your website, because Google doesn't want to just give you information about anybody's website. This is top secret information. This is data that is invaluable. So Google's not going to just show you anybody. They want you to prove to them that you really own this website. Once you prove to them that you own the website, then they'll show you this information. And so here's site or Search Console. There's a lot of stuff on here. I don't really have time to go over all this stuff, but on the left-hand side, you can see it says sitemaps. This is where you want to go here, and then you can submit that sitemap. I've already submitted my sitemap, but here is where you go here and you type in sitemap.xml. This is the URL that we use to find your sitemap. If you don't have a sitemap, or if you're having issues, then you might need a web developer, or you could ask me. I mean, let me know if this is too much or we're having issues with it, if anyone doesn't have a sitemap, because you really do need to create the sitemap and then submit it to Google, and then you can see success, or there might say an error, and then you can see what the errors are. You can see how many pages Google found. So Google's finding 6,814 pages. If you know you have a lot more pages than that, then you might have an issue with your sitemap. Or if you have a lot less pages, then you might wonder, why is Google showing so many pages? So sitemap, really important to submit the sitemap. Submit it one time, you're done. That's all you have to do. You can sit back, relax. You never have to touch this sitemap again. Anytime you add a new page on your website, the sitemap automatically updates. Anytime you remove a page, the sitemap automatically removes that page. So you never have to really touch this again. You submit it one time, you're done. So go to Google Search Console, create that account, submit that sitemap, and you're done. And if you want, Bing has Bing Search Console. So if you want to also go into Bing Search Console, you go create an account with Bing Search Console, submit your sitemap there, and sit back and relax. I mean, Bing isn't as important as Google because Google's going to bring the majority of your traffic. But if you have some extra time that you want to kill, go sign up for Search Console and submit it there on Bing Search Console as well. So I see a few questions. So if your website is not showing a sitemap, I'm not sure what platform it's on, but you might have to speak with your web developer, or you want to let me know what platform you're using. But yeah, so you don't need to. Sonia was asking, what other search engines should you submit your sitemap to? So Yahoo is not really Yahoo anymore. Yahoo is still a search engine, but when you search in Yahoo, it's actually Bing that shows the search results. So if you submit to Google and to Bing, that's going to cover the three big ones. So you submit to Google, and you submit to Bing, and that's all. Unless you know specifically another search engine is where you're getting traffic, like maybe there's another one like Baidu or some other search engine like DuckDuckGo or some other ones that are emerging, you could submit it to there. But really, Google is the main one. Google's going to bring the majority of your traffic. When I look in analytics at clients over the years, probably looking at hundreds of websites, maybe thousands, Google brings in probably like 20 to 80% of the traffic. Bing will bring about 1% of the traffic. Yahoo will bring about 1%. And the rest of it's coming from social media or from email marketing or just people typing in your website into the URL bar or whatever else. But really with traffic, SEO is primarily for Google. And Zuma was asking, how often does Google update the sitemaps? I mean, you can see all this information here in Google Search Console. Google Search Console will show you how many pages they found, if there's any errors. So just go into Search Console, and this will show you everything you need to know about that sitemap, what issues they're having, if there are any issues. Right now it says success, but sometimes it will say failure or issues. Like right here it says couldn't fetch. So you click on this and see what are the issues. And then you could try to troubleshoot it. I'm not going to go through all these because there's always a unique issue. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but this is where if you have a web developer, this comes in handy. I mean, I'm not a programmer. I don't know much about coding, and a lot of this does come down to coding. So if I do see errors, I'm going to reach out to a web developer if I have one, or if not, I would try to maybe search in Google. Like issues with sitemap, with Shopify, or whatever platform you're on, and you can see if other people are having that same issue and try to troubleshoot it and reverse engineer and see what is causing that issue. But sitemaps are really a quick kind of one-off. You do this one time and you're done. And this is going to significantly increase your traffic if you're not getting much traffic, because Google does not know your pages exist without this sitemap. And so you submit this sitemap to the search engines. I see someone's asking, is this sitemap for Safari? And Safari is just a browser. You don't submit sitemaps to Safari or Chrome or Firefox. You submit them to the search engines. The search engines are where you're going to get the traffic. And here's an example of a sitemap. And you can just see it lists, every sitemap is going to look slightly different. You just want to make sure there is some content on that page. If you go to sitemap.xml on your website and it's just blank and empty, then you need to make sure you figure out what's going on. Why don't you have a sitemap? But you have all this stuff that looks like a lot of coding. That is a sitemap. And don't worry, you don't need to know coding. So just be aware that you just want to make sure that you do have a sitemap. That's all that matters. And then there's some other things that are like the website speed is really important. The faster your website loads, the happier users are going to be. Plus Google. I mean, think about it. If you click on your website on Google and you're on your mobile device and it takes 5 seconds for your website to load, you're probably going to get frustrated and be like, this is taking too long. I'm just going to hit that back button and go on to the next site, because there's 10 other options on that first page of Google. Plus there's ads. Plus there's a lot of other stuff. So if you lose that user and your website takes too long to load, it's going to really deter traffic, especially on mobile. People are not patient, unfortunately. So, and Google even announced, so Google doesn't really tell you what works for SEO, but occasionally Google will say things they want you to do. And Google said that speed is part of their algorithm on how they rank websites. And usually Google says, don't do this, don't do that. But this is one thing that Google said, this is very important. So the faster your website loads, the better the user experience is going to be. So it helps out with twofold. It helps out for SEO and it helps out for user experience. Because if your website loads, if you can knock off like a fraction of a second off your website load time, that's going to significantly increase conversions. There's a lot of tests that have been done that even taking a fraction of a second off is going to have a positive impact on your website speed. So faster sites will rank higher to Google. And this will also decrease the bounce rate, which means how many people have come to your website and left immediately. That is a bounce. So a lot of, if your website loads slowly, people are going to come to your website, but they're just going to be like, oh, this is taking too long, and they're just going to leave. So you might be wondering, what do I do? How do I fix my page speed? There's a lot of tools out there that will show you how fast your website loads. I'll show you if anyone wants me to check their website speed. If you want to throw it in the chat, I'll show you how fast your website loads and how to fix that speed issues. So I see they show me learn how to write a book.com. So thanks. So if you type into Google page speed tester or insights is a tool, Google page speed insights, you can see right here, before I even go there, you'd see at the very top, Google shows how fast their website loads. Most people don't notice this, but Google shows how fast they provide the search results, because they know if their search engine takes 5 seconds to load, you're going to go on Bing or Yahoo or another search engine. So Google knows that they need to have the fastest loading website. And if your website loads slow, Google is not going to be happy, because Google works really hard to make sure their website loads fast. They want you to work really hard to make sure your website loads fast as well. So Google Page Speed Insights is a free tool from Google. There's a lot of other tools out there like GTmetrix or Pingdom. These are all free tools. I'll show you how fast your website loads, but Google Page Speed Insights is from Google, so I would use that first. I would check all of them, but this is from Google specifically, so I would look at this first and then look at these other tools. I'm going to show you exactly what needs to be done to optimize your website. They're going to give you step-by-step instruction. Well, not step-by-step, but they're going to tell you what needs to be done to optimize it. And they're going to give you a rating 0 to 100. So 0 is the lowest, 100 is the highest. Right now we can see this website is a 20 out of 100. Not the best. not the worst. A lot of people I test, their websites are like a 5 or 7. So 20 is actually pretty good. So don't think it's the worst, but you want to try to increase that score. And you could scroll down and it's going to tell you exactly what needs to be done to optimize that page speed. I'm not a programmer or web developer, so I don't know what half this stuff means. A lot of this is kind of like remove unused JavaScript, remove unused CSS. I just pass this on to a web developer and they'll take care of this. But a lot of this stuff is due to issues of images. You see, images, serve images in next-gen format. So images take up a lot of speed on your website. If you have a website, if you have images on your website and you're uploading them onto your website into full definition, like a 5,000 pixel by 5,000 pixel image on your website, or you're uploading that to your website, but then on your website, it's only like 200 by 200 pixels, you don't need to upload that 5,000 by 5,000 pixel image because it's slowing down your website. The more images you have, the slower your website is. The bigger the images are, and if you're not using those big high definition images, don't upload that big high definition image on your website. Upload the size that needs to be there. Or if you have old images, like if you've changed logos in the past, I mean, I did this myself. I wouldn't just leave all those images on my website. It was just like a way for me to save them. But then we realized that the more that you save onto your website, the slower your website loads because it's just collecting all this data. It's like saving stuff on your computer. You start running out of memory and it slows your computer down. Having all these extra images on your website is going to slow your website down. So deleting old images, old logos. If you have multiple images that you only need one size, just have that one size. Don't have multiple sizes. That is the biggest issue I see with the load speed is images are always kind of the number one issue. The rest of this stuff is really technical stuff that I don't know how to fix. Don't worry, you don't need to know either. I would go on, if you have a web developer, use your web developer. If you don't have a web developer, you can go on to sites like freelancer.com or Upwork, and for like $100, they'll fix your website speed for you. They'll get you from a 20 to like a 70 or an 80. You don't have to get to 100. 100 means you're not going to have any images. There's not going to be any videos because all that slows down your website. So don't worry about getting to 100. You want to get to like, I'd say like 70, 80, 90. That's a good spot. You don't have to make it perfect. You just want to at least try to get somewhere up there. And desktop. So right now we can see we're on mobile. Mobile is a 20. Desktop always is a lot better. So desktop is a 79. So I would say your desktop is good. Again, with SEO is like a puzzle. You want to put all the pieces together. Some pieces are a lot bigger than others. Speed is not the biggest piece of the puzzle for SEO. Unfortunately, a lot of people think speed is very important for SEO. It's not that important. If you go in, throw in this tool, Google Page Speed Insights, throw in like Facebook or Amazon or any of these big corporations, CNN, Fox, KTLA, they're all going to load really slow. So speed is not the number one issue for SEO. It is going to be helpful and it is going to help out when people come on your website. It is going to be very important for user experience and getting that person onto your website to actually make a purchase or call you up or email you. So you want to make sure your website loads fast for people. It does help out for Google, but it's only a little piece of that puzzle, but it is really important. Again, I'll put all these pieces together. It is going to be beneficial. And just like with mobile and desktop, it's going to show you exactly what needs to be done. And you can scroll down and see what needs to be fixed on desktop. And you can see what's slowing it down. Unused JavaScript, serve images in next-gen format, properly size images. So you can see sizing the images. So all that stuff is going to help out. And I don't really know what this stuff means, like next-gen format and images. I think that is like the newer formatting of images that don't take up as much space because images, they do take up a lot of space on your website and they do slow it down. So I think compressing them, there's a lot of stuff you could do. Again, I'm not the most technical when it comes to this stuff. I just know that for SEO and for Google and user experience, they do want you to do this stuff. So just be aware of that. And then, so there's a lot of other tools out there. Google Page Speed Insights is from Google, so I would trust that first, but all these other tools are going to show you slightly different information like Pingdom, you can see, or GT Metrics. Those are the three big ones. So I would look at all three of those and have a web developer try to make sure that you pass all three of those tests. You don't want to just pass one or two of them. You want to make sure you pass all of them because they all look at different aspects. And I mean, I would think Google is the most important, but who knows? You have to take everything with a grain of salt that Google tells you. They're not really telling you the full story of stuff. But here is GT metric, or I mean, here is a screenshot of Google PageSpeed Insights and showing you like Target is getting 85, but even they're not getting a perfect score. So don't worry about being perfect. You just want to try to get, to like a 70 or higher is a good enough score. Don't worry about being perfect. This is not the end all piece of SEO. This is only one part of Google's algorithm. And so mobile friendliness, I mean, this one's kind of straightforward. You want to make sure your website is mobile friendly, but because if Google doesn't think your website is mobile friendly, they're not going to show you on cell phones and smartphones. Like these bring about 60% of your traffic. So Google doesn't think your website's mobile friendly. They're not going to show you on mobile devices. Even if your website is mobile friendly, Google might not think your website is mobile friendly. It's kind of strange, but there's a tool out there. It's a free tool. So I don't know if anyone wants to throw in the chat. I could show you if your website is mobile friendly or not, according to Google's tool. Sorry. Let me switch screens. So there's a free tool. It's called the Mobile Friendly Test. Just like the Google Page Speed Test, this is another tool that will show you how fast your website or how optimized your website is for mobile devices. So I see Simona Megan. So Mobile Friendly Test, go to Google, Mobile Friendly Test, and throw my website URL in here and just check. You only need to do this one time just to double check, because I mean, I've worked with a lot of clients and I've seen websites that are mobile friendly, but Google said that the fonts are too close to one another or the colors are too close to similar shades or pixels, and it was not mobile friendly, even though it was a mobile friendly website. That was, according to Google, they didn't think it was mobile friendly. So you want to make sure, because if Google doesn't think your website is mobile friendly, even if you know your website is mobile friendly, you're not going to get that traffic and you're going to lose out on a lot of traffic. So this mobile friendly test, do it one time, just quickly check to say your website's mobile friendly. Great, you're good to go. If not, it's going to give you a list of items that you need to fix, just like with the page speed. It's the mobile friendly test is going to show you exactly what needs to be fixed. So it looks like your website's mobile friendly. You're good to go on that front. But if there were any issues, it would tell you there are issues. So that one is a quick, easier one. The speed is a little bit more technical and have to have a web developer come in and fix that. But Google did separate the mobile and the desktop algorithms like a year or two ago. So what shows up on mobile is different than on desktop. It used to be when you searched on desktop computers and mobile computers, it'd be exactly the same results, but now they're separate. So that's why if you're not mobile friendly, you're gonna lose out on a lot of traffic. And when you do make your website mobile friendly, just make sure it's mobile optimized, like it's easy to navigate. That's a big thing, is a lot of websites are mobile friendly, but how easy is it to navigate through that website? How easy is it to find your products and services? So just be wary that you want to make sure your website is mobile friendly, but easy to navigate through. And you could use that mobile friendly test. And you do it for your website one time, you're done. You don't have to do it for every individual page. You just do it for your website and you should be good to go on that front. And so here's what the mobile friendly tool looks like. If it's passed, you get that green light. If not, you get those issues. So there are a few more things. I mean, I do have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about for on-page SEO. It's just, there's only 40 minutes, so I don't have time to get through everything, but blogging is really important. You want to make sure that you have a blog on your website. That's a great way to get more traffic, add more pages, add more content, add more keywords. So blogging is just a good thing all around. Make sure you have a blog on your website. You want to have that blog and you want to optimize it maybe once or twice a month. You don't have to optimize it every single week. Just optimize it once or twice a month. Don't feel overwhelmed, especially if you're a business owner. Blogging is not the first thing on your list of things to do. There's a lot of other things that have priority, but blogging will help out. So just try to set aside some time once a month to blog and make the blog post informational, not promotional. Try to put yourself in the user's point of view. If you're reading a blog and they're just promoting themselves, saying why they're the best, you're instantly going to lose trust. They're not going to have credibility. You're going to be like, you're just biased. You're just saying this because you want me to buy your products and services. So make sure it's informationally that you give out good content that people want to read. So just get ideas from other blogs, see what other people are writing about. You want to add social sharing buttons so people could like it on Facebook, retweet it on Twitter, pin it on Pinterest, share it on LinkedIn. Those social sharing buttons help just get you more exposure. It's not going to help out for SEO, but if somebody shares your blog post on their Twitter and they have 5,000 followers on Twitter, that's 5,000 new eyeballs that might see your content. So even though it's not going to help out specifically for SEO, it will help out in terms of getting more people, more visibility on your content, more traffic to your website, and overall traffic is great. You want to get traffic. That is the ultimate goal. And you want to make sure that you share that content on your social media sites. So you also want to share your blog posts on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And there's ways to automate all that stuff, which unfortunately I don't have time to go over today. But in the full day classes, I go over ways to automate all this stuff and how with one click of a button, your your blog post will go on Facebook, will go on Twitter, will go on LinkedIn, it will go kind of everywhere. So yeah, next week I am running out of time. So next week we'll go over analytics and all this other stuff. But for now, if you do want to check out that class that I was talking about, it is on July 11th. It's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that is at SEOoptimizers.com/learn. So if you check out SEOoptimizers.com/learn, that's one of my next 5-hour classes. That's all about SEO and social media. Goes really in depth. I keep it to 10 people or less, so it's really more one-on-one personalized. We can go into your website, look at the site maps. If you're having issues, submit the site maps. So again, it's more personalized. You get SEO certification. So I'll send out a certification to everybody showing that you've been certified with my course. And if you do but I'll stick around right now since there is some time left. If you have any questions about SEO, I want to help out as much as possible. So let me know in that chat if you do have any questions. I see a few questions coming in, so I'll try to get to them. But before that, again, I do SEO full time. This is my job, doing SEO. So if you do have a website and you want me to check it out from an SEO point of view, if you go to SEOoptimizers.com/free, I'm happy to give you a website analysis and check it out and let you know from an SEO point of view what's working, what's not working, if there's any issues that need to be done or that are low-hanging fruit that could help you get more traffic. So for everyone that came out today, if you go to SEOoptimizers.com/free, I'll check out your website. And if you do want access to 60 tools that I use for SEO, free tools I use for SEO and for social media, you text the word SEO to the number 313131. I'll send everyone a copy of 60 tools that are free that I use kind of consistently. That helps out a lot with all this stuff that I've been talking about. So I do see a few questions. One question is, I'm working with an organization that is currently blogging on Medium and backlinking to their own site versus blogging on their own site, which is better. So I would post 1 or 2 articles on Medium just as a way to get backlinks to your own website. But Medium is not a blog. Medium is another website. You want to make sure that you blog on your own website. That way you rank higher, because when you're writing all this content and you're giving it to Medium, you're just helping Medium rank higher in Google. You're not helping your own website rank higher. So you want to make sure that you blog on your own website. It's really important. If you're blogging on other people's websites, it's not going to help out much unless you get a backlink from SEO, which is a whole different topic on how to build backlinks. But a great way to build backlinks is blogging on other people's websites to get a backlink. But you don't need to blog one time on one person's website. You get that backlink, and then you move on to the next. You don't need to keep blogging on that same website. You're just helping that other person out. So you want to blog on your own website, not other people's websites. And see, how much do I charge for SEO? So with SEO, it's not really set pricing. It all depends on your website, how much SEO has been done to your website, how competitive your industry is, how much SEO your competitors are doing. So if you are hiring an SEO company and they're giving you pricing, that's set pricing, I'd be a little skeptical, because with SEO, it's not just one size fits all. It's really customized to your individual website, how much SEO has been done to it, and what needs to be done to get you to that next level. So if you do have a website, you want me to check it out, I could give you a proposal. you go back to, if you email me or visit SEOoptimizers.com/free, you can check it out. But yeah, unfortunately with SEO, it's not really set pricing. So I just be careful if anyone does offer you set pricing for SEO, they're not really giving you the full picture of what needs to be done. And I see, Alex, what percentage of content needs to be original for your page to rank? So on your website, you want to put content on your website. Google needs to read content to be able to understand what your website's about. I always tell people about 400 words or more of content on your website has to be unique. If it's been copied from another website or another page on your website, that becomes duplicate content. Google does not want duplicate content. They want original content. So you have to make sure that content is 100% unique. It's okay to have like a little bit of overlap, but it has to be unique, Alex. And Alana was asking, do you have a software package that updates everything without getting marked as spam? I'm not sure what you mean about a software package that will update everything. There are lots of tools that can help out, but you have to be careful with these tools. They don't do everything that needs to be done. Like with WordPress, there's some tools that will help out in plugins, but I'm not sure if you want to elaborate on like a packet or software that you're referencing. Zoma was asking, other than sitemap, what is the main thing we need to do to boost the website's SEO? I mean, a sitemap is not that important. It is important to get more. It's important to show Google all the pages on your website, but it is not the most important. So it is going to be beneficial in terms of getting more traffic, but it's not the most important. The most important things are content, 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 content. The more content you have on that website, on each page on your website, the better Google's going to be able to understand your website and rank you higher. And I see there's an issue with the code. If you text the word SEO to the number 313131, that should work, Vince. I'm not sure if you're having issues, but if you text the word SEO to the number 313131, and Elena was saying, I thought you said that you updated your stuff at once. I'm not sure what you mean about, if you can maybe elaborate, sorry. But again, if you do have any questions, you can always email me if there's anything that I missed. I'm always around. My email is brandon@SEOoptimizers.com. So definitely reach out to me if you have any questions. If there's any topics you want me to cover in the future, let me know. I'll be doing these every Wednesday. So hopefully everyone comes back next Wednesday, and I'll see you there to talk about Google Analytics and Google Search Console and how to set them up and where I look to track my progress. So if you want to set up Search Console and Google Analytics, you can right now. If not, that's not a big deal either. If you don't even have Search Console, if you don't even have a website, not a big deal, because it's all gonna, it's all gonna come into play, and you'll understand why it's important, and you'll just pick up on things. So, and I appreciate everyone for coming out today. I know SEO is probably not the number one thing that you're trying to learn right now. There's a lot of other issues, things going on in the world, but I do appreciate you taking the time to better your knowledge and grow, especially if you are a business owner. I'm sure SEO is on the bottom of things right now with so many things going on, but keep coming back, and I'll keep on putting this content out, and I'll send everyone a copy of this presentation probably in a few hours once I get it downloaded and recorded. But once again, thank you so much for coming out, and I hope to see you at next week. So yeah, thank you everyone. Stay safe out there and have a great rest of your week.